Welcome to Panther Sports Talk, talking about another Panther victory for the football team, currently sitting in second place tie in the league standings. 29-6, very workmanlike win on the road. Your thoughts on that victory at Missouri State, Coach?
Well, I thought it was a good game because there wasn't a wow factor to it with rankings and things like that like we'd been playing in. It was a road game, it was windy, it was cold. So it was one of those games you just had to put your mind to it to go down and get your job done, do your job, do it effectively, and get the win.
How do you prepare your guys to be mentally tough for any weather condition? Because pregame was looking a little sketchy there.
It was, and I thought that was important. But we got out last week. We made a point of it to get outside, and so we went over to actually Waterloo to the school, and they allowed us on their field, and it was very fortunate. One day was windy, one day was rainy. So actually, this day was actually the best of the three. Was game day.
Talk about that first quarter, no scoring. How did you feel heading into that second quarter?
Well, I thought we should have scored a couple times in the first quarter because we had a couple of they had a couple turnovers that I thought we should have scored on. But when we reversed fields and we got the win, that's when we really got in good rhythm.
19 unanswered points. What were some of the big plays in that second quarter, getting that momentum, that lead going into the locker room at half?
Well, one, I thought our defense was steady. They kept getting a 3 and out and got the ball in good position for our offense. I think our offense started around the 40-yard line with each drive. And then we had a couple big plays in the passing game to get us down there. And of course, Will extended up playing the passing game and really made a nice play too to make a drive to get us down there.
Talk about that halftime adjustments and wanting to come out strong. Were you happy with how the team came out in that third quarter?
You know, I was. We took the win in the third quarter because we wanted to put them away in the third and not give them a chance to get life and then try to rally in the fourth. So we wanted to put them away. I would like to see us do more on offense coming out of the gate because we had the first possession. And we were moving the ball, but a penalty kind of brought us back and we had to punt. But defense was just stifling all day, and they did a great job.
Panthers scored 10 unanswered points in the third quarter, built a 29-0 lead going into the fourth. And just overall feeling about a lot of different guys getting involved on the offensive side of things in that game.
Well, there was. We played a lot of guys in this football game. There was about 50 snaps for offense and for defense, which isn't a lot. But at the same time, we got guys that had not been playing. And it was one of those deals like early in the season, a lot of teams will play a lesser schedule and get these guys in the game. We weren't allowed to do that early in the season, so this allowed us to get them in the game because it will help us in the future games down the road.
Some big plays on special teams as well.
Special teams has been getting better each week for us. I thought Cook did a great job kicking. His first kick was tremendous. It was a 40-some-odd-yard kick. He had the win, but it was a tough kick. And then we had big turnovers. We had a kickoff. We recovered a fumble on a kickoff. We had a couple punt returns that almost broke for the distance. So we're gaining strength on special teams.
And then when you look at defensively, a lot of pressure on their QB, sacks and tackles for loss. Talk about that front line.
Well, the front line did a very good job, and the coverage did a very good job. And it goes hand in hand. Whoever gets the credit, it doesn't matter. A sack is sometimes a coverage sack. A sack is sometimes just a good rush. But I thought it was led by Brinkman. I thought Brinkman did a good job inside of really creating a dent in the protection, and he got a couple sacks himself.
Panther sit in second place in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. More with Coach Farley right after this.